The Old Testament, 39 books, one sweeping story. From Genesis to Malachi, we see God creating, rescuing, correcting, and preparing the way for Jesus. His justice, mercy, and plan for humanity unfold in 5 main sections. The Law. We start with Genesis, the creation, the fall, and God's promise to Abraham to bless all nations. But the story turns dark. God's people become slaves in Egypt until the great rescue. Exodus. The sea parts, freedom is won, and God gives his law, revealing his name, I am who I am. Leviticus teaches God's people how to live with a holy God through worship, sacrifice, and purity. Numbers is the long road through the wilderness, a journey marked by rebellion, lessons in trust, and God's unshakable faithfulness. Finally, in Deuteronomy, Moses, an old leader, pleads with the people in his last words. Remember, love the Lord your God with all your heart, walk in his ways. These 5 books are more than history. They're the foundation of God's great story and an invitation for us to step into it. Historical books. The Torah ends with God's people standing on the edge of the promised land. The historical books pick up the story, showing how they take hold of God's promises and how they struggle to keep them. In Joshua, the walls of Jericho fall and Israel takes the land God swore to their fathers. It's a story of courage, faith, and God's faithfulness. But victory fades. Judges reveals a repeating cycle: sin, suffering, and salvation through leaders called judges. The people forget God, yet he never fully abandons them. In Ruth, we see loyalty and God's providence at work, preparing a lineage that will lead to King David and ultimately to Christ. In 1st and 2nd Samuel, Israel demands a king, and God gives them Saul, then David. God makes a covenant with David that his throne will last forever. 1st and 2nd Kings tell of Solomon's wisdom, the building of the temple, and the tragedy of a divided kingdom. From a different angle, 1st and 2nd Chronicles focus on David, the temple, and Judah's kings, reminding the people, if my people will humble themselves, then I will heal their land. Then hope flickers again. In Ezra and Nehemiah, God's people return from Babylon. They rebuild the temple, the walls of Jerusalem, and their spiritual lives. Nehemiah reminds them, the joy of the Lord is your strength. Esther tells how God's unseen hands saves his people from destruction, placing one woman in the right place for such a time as this. Together, these books show the rise and fall of a nation, and a God who works through kings and commoners, victories and exiles, to keep his promises. Poetry and wisdom. In the middle of the Old Testament lies a different kind of writing: songs, proverbs, and deep reflections. This section invites us to wrestle with life's questions, to sing our praises, and to seek God's wisdom. Job wrestles with suffering and faith. Psalms is the Bible's songbook. Proverbs, wisdom for godly living. Ecclesiastes searches for meaning under the sun, reminding us that life without God is empty. Song of Solomon celebrates love in its purest form. These books speak to the heart, mind, and soul. They teach us how to pray, how to think, how to love, and how to trust God, not just in the easy seasons, but in the ones that break us. Major prophets. These books, known as major prophets on account of their length, not their importance, speak into some of Israel's darkest days, calling the people back to God while pointing toward future hope. Isaiah warns of judgment but promises a coming Messiah, for unto us a child is born. Jeremiah weeps over Jerusalem's fall, yet offers hope of a new covenant, plans to prosper you and not to harm you. Lamentations is a cry of grief over a city in ruins. Ezekiel sees God's glory even in exile and promises renewal. I will give you a new heart. Daniel shows unshakable faith under pressure and visions of God's eternal kingdom. Minor prophets. The books are shorter but just as powerful, calling God's people to repentance, justice, and hope. For example, Hosea shows God's unfailing love for an unfaithful people. Joel warns of the day of the Lord and promises, "I will pour out my spirit on all people." Jonah tells God's mercy in Nineveh and a prophet who resisted it. Habakkuk wrestles with injustice, learning that the righteous will live by faith. Zechariah offers visions of restoration and a coming king. Malachi closes the Old Testament with a call to faithfulness. "I, the Lord, do not change." These books remind us that God's justice is sure, His mercy is wide, and His promises never fail. The Old Testament is God's unfolding story. Through the Torah, historical books, poetry and wisdom, and the prophets, revealing His holiness, justice, mercy, and faithfulness. Each section offers something unique, from epic battles to intimate prayers. Watch this overview a couple of times, note the parts that spark your curiosity, and dive deeper into those books. You'll see how every page points to the same unchanging God.